Chuck a Loaf here, 1200 Films Podcast, all horror all the time. Still trying to squeeze in as many 2021 horror films as I can for the big year-in review show that I like to do as soon as possible. I like to be one of the first on YouTube to put a best and worst of year-in review up for everyone to enjoy. Is my show any better than any one of the other people that do this? Yes. So, but let's get going on this one. Of course, the rating scale. On the bottom, dumpster fire garbage, and then can't quite recommend, okay if desperate. Put it on your watch list, and then put it on top of your watch list. And we cover the whole gambit on this episode today. We got something for everything. First, leading off, Batter 1, 2021 Funhouse. Critic rating, 0. Sometimes I'll say there's no critic rating, but this has a critic rating, 0. Audience score, 81. What? Who's right? Let's explore this. One of the best reviews of all the critics that slammed this, which was all of them, they said it was a bad film with a great idea. True. This super rich guy who owns everything kidnaps all these B-level washed up reality stars and makes them fight in a popularity contest to the death. It's broadcast on the internet so people can watch this, and they vote, and whoever gets the least votes has to go in a Saw-like game where they have to fight to the death with whatever. Sometimes it's competitive. Sometimes the bottom two people have to fight. Usually it's just the bottom person. And it's usually quite gruesome. Which is nice. But, the acting is bad, people. Bad. None of these people I recognize. None of them I really care to see again. But, it was a fun idea. Yeah. Kudos to that. For that, I'll give it okay if desperate. I know, what a wishy-washy review, right? Right in the middle. 2021, Halloween Kills. Critic rating, 41. Audience score, 66. I love Michael Myers. The reboot that they did a couple years ago was great, so I was looking forward to this. The red flag went up when I saw it was premiering on Paramount Plus for free, and free streaming. It's like, oh, I don't know. And then this is a very minor spoiler alert, but not really. Michael Myers and Laurie Strode never crossed paths in this film. I thought that was silly when I heard that. I didn't believe it, but it's true. And they're bringing back characters from 40 years ago just to keep this kill count ridiculously high. And that's fine. But some of this movie was just silly. Just ridiculous. Okay, Michael Myers is wearing a mask. And he's blind in one eye. Because remember, 40 years ago, Laurie stabbed him in the eyeball with a coat hanger. And he's getting mobbed by like 15, 20 people. And suddenly, all of a sudden, he goes kung fu on their asses. What? You know he can't see anything. Big, gaudy rubber mask. And he's got one eyeball. No. He's not jumping around, slicing everyone's throat at just the right spot to kill. No. Ridiculous. Silly. That scene should have been deleted or altered. But, it kept me entertained. I watched the whole thing through. Will I watch the next one? Hell yes. So I really can't slam it too badly. Put it on the watch list. Whatever. Moving on. 1988, The Brain. Why did I watch this? I don't know. There is no critic rating. Audience score 36%. So this Dr. Phil type, who's TV personality that likes to help people, he's getting advice from this giant alien brain who lives in like a batter of soup. And they're going to take over the world. But of course, the only people that know this, that this brain is evil and bad, is like a handful of teenagers. So they have to stop it, and then when the brain wants to, when it needs to get aggressive, it can grow to like 5 times its size. Yeah. Riff Tracks did a spoof on this. I should find that and watch that. But as far as this movie goes, as campy and silly as it was, I still can't quite recommend. Has its moments. Next, 2015, Headless. Get this. No critic rating, no audience score. There was not even reviews from the Rotten Tomatoes members, not one. So, I left one. I gave it a 1.5 out of 5. I found this movie on Screenbox. I was offered a 30-day free trial, and it's worth about 2 minutes of your time because it's got nothing on there. It's nothing. But I found Headless, which looked interesting. And this is probably one of the most over-the-top, violent, gory films I've ever seen. This killer, who was abused as a child by his mother and sister, I guess. So he hates women, so he rapes and murders and mutilates women that he comes across. And I mean, he's chopping off limbs. The special effects are actually pretty impressive. But still, it's just nothing else to it. Dumpster fire garbage. Screenbox is puke. Screenbox is dumpster fire garbage. Don't try that. Try Shudder. Shudder's where it's at. Moving on. Sprial. Book of Saw, 2021. Critic rating 37, audience score 75. Chris Rock. I don't know if I care for Chris Rock in leading roles. Maybe he'll grow on to me if he keeps doing this. Not sure. Samuel L. Jackson was fine. Most everyone else in this was fine. This plays out like a really dark episode of Law and Order. If that's your thing. I have watched a handful of seasons of Law and Order Criminal Intent. And this was kind of where I would slide this movie. It did put me to sleep twice, but I still kind of enjoyed it. Okay, if desperate. It's not your old Saw movie. It's not. It's different. It's a different direction, but it's fine. 2021, Old. The newest from M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong. Critic rating 50%, audience score 53. I thought, how in the hell can they make a full-length movie about people growing old on the beach? And you know what? Pulled it off. Congratulations. A fairly enjoyable film about people aging a month and 1 hour. It's about what it was. Because of course, that somewhere they had to sit down and figure this out on paper. Mighty interesting variations of death, which was fine. The ending was okay, but that was a good little journey, good little find. Yes, Old. I'm sure this will keep M. Night Shyamalan going for another 20 years. Good for him. Yes. Did I give it a score? Put it on the watch list. It's that good, I guess. 2021 Paranormal Activity, Next of Kin. Oh my god. Critic rating 28%, audience score 36. So familiar. Very familiar, too familiar. And the generic creepy kids, it's time to give it a break. The kids were creepy in The Ring, and people have been milking the creepy kids thing for so many years and so many films. Brams. But it's time to give it a rest. Then 10 years, 10, 15 years, you bring it back. You bring the little kids back. But, I did not like the first Paranormal Activity film. And then I thought they gradually got better. I've never seen the marked ones. But then I watched this one and was like, wow, they kind of regressed. It's not so good. So this woman and her husband, I guess, are going to this Amish Mormon village. I don't know what it is. Some religious cult village. Because her mom was part of the group and then she disappeared, so she's going to check it out to see what's going on, and the people are treating her weird, and then, one thing to the next. Yeah. Can't quite recommend. Now, it's time for our feature review of VHS 94.
Police search warrant! Police search warrant!
Do not touch anything.
Could be no one left alive in here.
Do I just press the button?
Press the red button.
Just press it.
I assume I'm paying extra for this.
Yes.
This is a remarkable story.
Hello? Hello?
2021 VHS 94. Why is it called 94? Because it takes place in 1994. And it is the fourth installment of the VHS series. And I was thinking about this. When has the fourth film in the franchise series been the best? So I did some research. Mad Max Fury Road. I'll give it that one. Yep. Star Trek 4. Maybe. Jurassic World. Arguably. Paranormal Activity 4. Quite possibly. And a non-horror movie. Vegas Vacation. That was the fourth Chevy Chase vacation film, and probably the best. Some other ones that people had on their list of best fourth films that I can't believe even were mentioned. Highlander Endgame? No. Transformers Age of Extinction? No. Saw 4? No. No. Alien Resurrection? No. That was arguably the worst one. Arguably. But yes, when is the fourth film the best one? Well, VHS 94 is the best of this series. I thought 1 and 3 were really good. 2 not so great. VHS 94, amazing. It's got a wraparound story with these police investigating this place, which isn't so great, but everything else, it's got 5 other little mini stories, and they're all amazing. They're all from amazing to amazingly great. No bad ones. Which one's the best? I don't know. The tunnel one, probably. Or the one where the guy's transforming the people into machines, maybe. But yeah, they're all awesome. All amazing. They'll all keep you entertained. Definite contender here for top film of the year. But there's still time. And I still really haven't put together a top 10 list. I should get on that soon, huh? A couple weeks to go. Definitely put this on top of your watch list. On the next episode, we got Honeydew. Seems like someone's famous son directed that. I can't remember. I'll have to look in that. Yeah. Then one called Meander, also from this year. That's got a few people's list of best films so far this year. Then one called Death Valley. I don't know much about that. Then another one from this year called My Heart Can't Beat Unless You Want It To. Again, on a lot of people's top list for horror film of the year so far. Shadow Cloud. I can't read my own writing sometimes. Shadow Cloud also on a lot of people's list. And then Godzilla vs. Kong. I'm going to finally sit down and watch that masterpiece. But we'll see. And then probably a few more after that. I gotta bulk up these episodes before the end of the year. So that should be fun. So until whenever,